some good news and some bad news. That's not really bad news, but we'll start out with what I guess might be considered bad. I have let the Stag 3G that has been the object of a lot of my videos, it's sold. I let it go. A few things going on there. First of all, I am moving away from the left-handed variant gun. I am left-handed and I do shoot left-handed, but I'm going to go back to the right-handed variant. And not really because of training scars and all that stuff. You hear a lot of people talk about, oh, well, if you get acclimated to it this way or that way. No, none of that stuff. It's, first of all, from a useful standpoint, with me as a left-handed shooter shooting a normal right-handed gun where the rounds eject from the right-hand side of the receiver. If I've got that gun and I'm looking down target and I get a failure to fire, whatever it may be, if I don't feel that bolt lock back, I don't have to chamber check. I don't have to do any of this quick motion, any of that crap. I don't have to do anything to diagnose. All I have to do is look down if I'm shooting a right-handed gun. Because with this outside eye here, I can just glance straight down and I can see directly into that chamber. With a left-handed variant gun, I have to flip the gun, I have to roll it to look into that chamber. So, we get into something that's probably going to be a little bit more controversial here. I'm not saying that people that are out there in the field, that you soldiers should do this. You guys definitely want commonality, and you guys want to be able to pick up any weapon, or whatever the circumstances, you need them to be common. I assume. I mean, I can't put your needs into your mind or mouths, so forgive me of that. What I will say is that for a competition type system, I urge some of you right-handed shooters to look into the possibilities of running a left-handed variant gun. That sounds all messed up and everything, but it's the same thing as what I was just explaining, but in reverse. If you are right-handed and you're shooting a right-handed variant gun, you're looking down and it's like competition, something like that, you get that failure to fire and you don't feel that bolt lock back, you don't get that chunk, that chug. You like that noise? If you need to assess and to problem solve and to find out what's going on, you got to do this fancy shit or look or whatever. You've got to do something to be able to see into that chamber. If you're right-handed and you're running a left-handed variant gun, that means that your ejection port is on the left-hand side of the receiver. So, if you get that failure to fire, all you have to do is just glance down. I mean, just quickly glance straight down, and you can look right in that chamber and see what's going on. In a competition setting, that could help you. I mean, that right there could be that split-second difference in you quickly deciding that, oh, I just need to do this, or I've got a big problem and I need tap rack bang, I need to change magazines, something like that. It may be the difference in you getting second place in a stage or just bombing the whole stage. It's worth looking into. And so, for me, the reasons stack up: commonality of use, commonality of parts. I have found there's been a few times that I thought, well, yeah, I'll just grab that, bolt carrier, I'll grab this or that. And there are these things that are different running a left-handed variant gun. I didn't have that luxury. And so I'm working on some possibility of offering some left-handed custom bolt stuff, custom coatings and stuff on some left-handed AR bolts. Maybe some lightning ones, doing a few things like that. And so this ties in now. The good news, the announcement is that I'm going tomorrow to pick up my lathe for the shop. Up until now, I've been using a lathe. I've had access to a lathe, and I've not done any videos on it, but I've had access to that. But I had to travel, I had to plan it, and so now after tomorrow, I will have a lathe in-house, and that's something you're going to see a number of videos on. I'll probably shoot a little bit of footage of going to get it, shoot some footage of putting it in, getting it set up, and then using it. And so it's going to definitely add a new twist to the shop here, and something that I'd like your input on. I'm looking into investing in powder coating, a powder coating system, not a Harbor Freight powder coating system, a nice one. And if any of you guys think you might have some use for powder coating, not just gun stuff, period, let me know, because I'm trying to do a little bit of testing the waters to see how much draw I'm going to have for the powder coating. There are all kinds of, the sky's the limit on the colors in the powder coating. Very chemical resistant, good heat resistance, good wear resistance. I can get different textures. So powder coating gives a lot of flexibility. The one thing I am not 100% sure about is how thin I can go with the powder coating. Whereas like Cerakote, something like that, and then I can put it thin. But with the powder coating, so far, all the powders I'm seeing are going to have a little bit of thickness on there, but that's fine in the right application. So send me a message, let me know if you might have something you want powder coated. It'll just help me make my decisions. So it can be a private message. You don't have to announce your business to everybody. And anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I look forward. I'm excited about the new purchases and everything. As far as not having the Stag 3G, I build guns, so it's okay. I got 3 or 4 nice guns in the works for myself right now, and you'll be seeing those. And so trust me, I'm not without an AR already. We're gonna do a little bit of an update here in between some of the different jobs that I'm doing. Kind of show you guys some of the things I've got coming up. I'm going to do a few different things with some AR parts to explain what's the difference in this stuff. What's the difference in a 2-piece handguard versus a free float? What's the advantages, disadvantages? You've got like this one here that's a long quad rail. You've got this, a carbon fiber. You've got this one that is it's a smooth rail, but it's got the quad rail out on the end. Advantages, disadvantages. The carbon fiber ones are my own. I can cut them to whatever length possible. I'm going to go over different things about your bolt carriers, your coatings, things like that. Just kind of a general rundown, so people that are just getting into it, maybe it'll help somebody out. And for those of you that already know all that information, there'll be some gun porn. You get to see some cool stuff. So that's going to be coming up, and I got a number of builds, but with the AR builds, I mean, if you've seen one AR build, you've seen them all as far as the process. So you'll probably see, I'll probably do a video that'll feature each gun as I finish it, but I'm not going to do a video that shows each one being made. It's kind of pointless, redundant. Some other things that we've got coming up. This is not a nylon takedown. This is broken. It broke clean off. And so I'm going to have a video coming up pretty soon of how to fix this, because this is a common problem with these. And there's a number of different guns like this. This happens to be a rare nylon version because it's a bolt action. But either way, I'm going to show how to fix this, and so that'll be coming up. This is obviously a high point. Everybody knows what this is, or a block of lead. Something that's unique on this was whenever they told me that the trigger was broken, I thought maybe the trigger bar or something like that. Something inside was broken. No, the trigger itself is broken right down here. I'll show you here in a minute in a close-up. It's actually broken. the reason I'm even bothering showing this is because I'm curious if anybody else has seen this problem with the high point guns. This is a 40 cal. You know, as far as I know, it's all the same trigger and everything. Something else that I will have coming up is I just did a price point refurbishment on this Savage Model 6A. And the reason I say price point is because I was given a do not exceed price. And so I did everything that I could and stay within that price. This gun, it's got niter bluing on some of the stuff. This thing looked like a piece of rebar whenever I got it. It's got, this is actually KG gun coat on the barrel. KG gun coat here, the brown. Niter bluing, refinished the stock. It turned out really nice. And one of the products that I used on here that I'm going to showcase is the Dura-Fill. And what that is it's almost like Bondo for firearms. Whenever you get heavy pitting and stuff like that, you can spray Dura-Fill on, and it's basically, it builds up and fills the pits and everything and allows you to sand it back down, thus filling the pits. And it leaves behind a smooth surface that lets paint and coatings adhere to it really well. And so rather than, and there's actually a Brown and High Power that I'm going to use that on because the pitting was so bad on it that we were just going to sand it to oblivion. And so this allows us to really do some good stuff without having to sand it too much. So that's going to be coming up. As you see, this gun's already done. I just got to get the editing done. This I just picked up today, and I'm pretty stoked about getting to do this one. This is an FN FAL. It's from DSA Arms, and what I'm going to be doing with this is a full Cerakote job. Sorry, I'm not sure yet. I was just told to Cerakote it graphite black, but after getting it hands-on and stuff, I'm actually going to go back to the owner and talk to him about maybe adding some cobalt in there or another color instead of just doing everything the same color. It needs something to contrast that, and I think that the Cerakote cobalt will do real well. And so that's what this one's going to get. And of course, I'll do a teardown video and an assembly video. We'll be stripping the barrel, everything down. So I'll do a video showing how that's done. And so this is going to be a pretty nice one. I can't wait to test it whenever I put it back together, because anytime that I tear a gun down, it always gets tested when it goes back together. Just something you have to do. Other things I've got coming up, barrel swap, cylinder swap, trigger job on a Smith & Wesson 629 44 Magnum. I've got an AK-74 build that's going to be coming up. I got a Krinkhoff build that's coming up. The work that I'm doing on my M&P, the coating and the titanium nitride barrel and all that stuff. My Scorpion that I'm doing, I'm turning it into a carbine. This thing is going to be like no Scorpion you've ever seen before. That's coming up. Got a lot of good things. And something that I want to announce that we're going to start doing with the channel, and I'd like your input on this. We're going to start touring factories and trying to do factories that support the military, some form or fashion, or are into firearms, or something to do with survival camping, whatever, what we're into. And one of the premier places that we're going to go is we've been invited to Miami to tour Taurus Rossi. The president of Taurus Rossi, is going to, he's fitting the bill. He's flying my cameraman and myself to Miami. He's going to pay for our room and board, pay for our food, and we're going to have a meeting, and we're just going to talk about some things that I think might be good to help them in the industry, things that they may want to pay attention to. Try and just give them some feedback. So if any of you guys have any questions that you would like for me to ask the staff or the employees, Taurus Rossi in Miami, I'd appreciate you drop me an email with those questions. You can put it in the comment section, but if you're serious about having me ask them, I'd ask you to email it to me. My email address will be up here in just a second. And so I'm looking for questions and things on the interview for that. I've got a number of different companies that I'm looking into touring and interviewing. If you have a company that you would like to get some exposure for your company, we're trying to just show. I want to show the workers. That's a big thing that we're going to be doing here. A lot of the channels, a lot of the interviews that you see the CEOs and the bigwigs being interviewed, and I'm going to talk to those guys. But I also want to make it a point, me coming from a factory background as well, I want to talk to the guys out there on the floor. I want to find out, I want to just talk to them, see how that culture in that company is. I want to see what's going on out there. And hopefully we can bring a unique flavor to some of these different manufacturing plants, stuff like that. And I want to show you guys how it's all done. A lot of you all have never seen an industrial setting or seen how a lot of stuff is made and done. And so we're going to start doing that with the channel. And you know, right off the bat, I think it's going to probably be at the end of December when we actually go down to Miami. So I may be trying to work out a couple other places to go to while I'm down there. But either way, tell me what you think. I'd like to hear your feedback on that. And if you've got any questions, any places you'd like to see me go. Now I'm in the East Tennessee area, and I can't just fly to California on my own dime or anything like that. But if there's some place you'd like to see, one of the places I'm going to try and look into going is Storm Lake Barrels. There's a number of places around here, and once we get a few of these under our belt, I'm going to approach a few places. I'd like to maybe go out to Barrett. They're in Tennessee here, but I'm going to start out with the places real close to me and go from there. The Miami and the Taurus Rossi trip was an invitation by them, and it is what actually spurred the change, or this in the channel. Just really made me think that, man, that's something that would be a good idea. I got a passion about doing it. I think I can really have a good time doing it and show you guys some good information. So either way, just wanted to give you a channel update, let you know what's going on, and let me know what you think. Appreciate you watching. You see where this is broken? So we'll get that fixed. Here is the trigger where it was broken. Right there, right at the bottom. got a few things to show here with these. I really like this. I'm not a quad rail kind of guy, but man, I like that rail. A little thicker than what I would prefer, but still. That's a nice rail. Here's a carbon fiber rail. This is a Yankee Hill Smooth is what they call it. And it comes with sections that you can bolt in there to make it an actual quad rail. Nickel boron bolt carrier.